Alright everyone, let's talk about saving a whole bunch of silver enhancing, and I wanted to share with you guys a few tricks that I use, and I'll be perfectly honest, if it wasn't for these tricks here on saving silver, I would not be able to do nearly as much enhancing as I do on my live stream. So let's talk about the black stones that you use enhancing, specifically the concentrated stones. Those are going to be the ones that you end up using the most because you need them once you end up getting to plus 15 pry and onward. You're going to need a bunch of these, concentrated magical blackstone weapons and concentrated magical blackstone armor. Now, if you actually go and take a look at the market, obviously depending on the server that you're on, the prices might be a little bit different, but just looking at the market right here on NA, if we take a look at these weapon stones, if you were to just go with the lazy option here, and I would never recommend doing this, and going and just buying whatever the listed price for these stones are right now, you're looking at 2.6 million each. That is insanely expensive, and I can tell you guys right now that I do not pay anywhere even close to this much for my weapon stones. I probably get them most of the time for around half price. You might be thinking, what, half price? How are you getting them for 1.3 to 1.5 million each? Well, step number one is never just buy the ones that are listed. Worst case scenario, if you do decide to buy the actual concentrated stones off the market, just like you would for basically all your items, you would want to put in a buy order for the lower prices down here. I would still not recommend doing this, but that's just one way already to save, a couple 100,000 silver right off the bat. But what you're actually going to want to do with the concentrated stones is instead of buying the stones outright, you're going to want to actually make them through processing, and you're going to want to heat sharps and 2 of the blackstone weapons. Now already, if you take a look at what the cost of a sharp and 2 weapon stones is going to be, let's look at that. So a sharp is going to cost you right now about, same trick. You would not want to buy the ones listed. You would want to put in an order. You can see you could probably get an order because there's not really that many of them here. They don't start piling up until around 1.9, so probably 1.91, 1.92, around that. If you wait a few minutes, you could probably get some for that price. And then if you look at the price of weapon stones, you'll see that there is a bunch sitting at the minimum price of 120,000. So instead of that 2.6 million already, you've just saved yourself many hundreds of thousands of silver, because now you're getting them for 1.9 plus 2 of these for 2.5. So you're looking at like 2.2 million now instead of 2.6. So that saves you several 100,000 each. Now, in order to do this, what you would want to do is you would want to then go to the heating and you would want to process. Now, you don't actually have to process these individually. If you actually go to Protos, you go to heating, what you can do is if you have some sharps, and I have some here, we'll just use as an example, let's just take these out. And if we go to heating, you're going to want to put these in, you're going to want to put in the weapon stones, and then you're going to want to mass process. Now, in order to do this, you are going to need a processing stone, which is why I just have one handy, basically at all times for doing this. And something else that you're going to want to have is a good chunk of mastery. Now, you don't need a ton. This is not super important, but it'll allow you to process more of them at once. So generally, before you start processing, if you have any Manos life skilling gear, you're going to want to put it on. It doesn't get my mastery super high, but you can see here that even with a mastery of in the 600s, now I'm able to process a lot more of them at once. You can see here that 45 batches of materials will be processed at once when you mass process, and that number is going to go up as you increase your processing mastery. So when you go to the menu again and you go to mass process, you're going to essentially be able to make 45 of these at once, because it does take a minute or so in order to actually get through the mass processing. So you can do a bunch of them at once, and that's going to save you several 100,000 silver. Great thing to do when you are AFK or you've just got a little bit of extra time and you want to get something done where you're still actually saving silver and making some progress for your account. So that is one option right there. You could do the exact same thing with the armor stones as you can with the weapon stones. So if we go back, same thing here. You can see that these are 2.17. If you put in a buy order, though, you already save yourself, 100,000 silver potentially. But then if you take a look at the price of hards, you're looking at 1.5-ish, 5.5, 5.3, something in that ballpark there. And then the armor stones, are, you can get them down here for, you know, 120,000 basically. So you already saved yourself, again, many hundreds of silver by doing that. So that's one step right there. Now I want to talk about the second step, which I'm going to be honest, a little hesitant to do so because I've used this step to save me a lot of money over the last several weeks, but I'm ready to put it out there for a video to help you guys out. So hopefully this does not change prices too much. It's a big market, so I don't think it will. I don't think the video is really going to get a bunch of views. So this is a nice little bonus for you guys who do end up getting to this part of the video and watching this. But another reason, this is really mostly specifically for the weapon stones. It does apply to the armor stones to a lesser degree, but it's really made it significant for the weapon stones. And this is where I got that number of how I'm able to basically save half of my money from the weapon stones and get them for, you know, 1.3 to 1.5 million instead of 2.6. And that is melting accessories. That's right, you can melt accessories down for hards and sharps. And I'll actually show you guys a list right here that tells you the different accessories that you can melt down to end up getting shards, sharps, and hards. You can see that there's a list there of 6 of them: Ancient Guardian Seals, Necklace of Gadiz, Witch's Earring, Ancient Weapon Core, Bencho's Necklace, and Scarlet Necklace. Now I want to put out there as a disclaimer, guys, this is very market dependent. Obviously, depending on the market, the region that you play on, and what prices are, it may or may not be worth doing this with all the items. It may be worth waiting until certain times. And this is why I will say that this is really important to really look for the low prices in the market. And it might not be great right now. You might have to wait a week and then see all of a sudden, you know, maybe one of these 6 accessories here, the price starts to go down, and that's when you're going to want to stock up, start buying them. And then melt them down and obviously save all those materials for later on when you enhance. Because I know for a while, just as an example here on NA, Witch's Earrings went down to like 1.5 to 1.6 million each, which is an insane price because basically considering you're getting 1 to 2 sharps per Witch's Earring, that's an average of 1.5. So if you're getting Witch's Earrings for like 1.6 million each, you're basically paying about 1 million silver. A little more than that, 1.1 million silver per sharp, which is super cheap compared to what they cost if you just buy them directly in the market. So just so you guys can see here as an example, let's go ahead and do this with an accessory. Let's do this with a Witch's Earring because I just talked about that as an example. So we'll go to Produce, we'll go to Heat, and for this one, actually what you're going to want to do, I'll take out another one just so you guys can see this to make your life a little bit easier, because you're going to have an option here when it comes to processing that's going to be process all identical items. You're going to want to do this. That's going to allow you to like semi-AFK it. If you got a bunch of accessories in your inventory, you could just go ahead and do one of them, click the process all identical items, click on start. You don't mass process these, you just click on start, and this is going to start to process them and start to melt them down. So you can see we're at 76 sharps right now. Now we're at 77. It gives us 1 to 2. So let's see if we get 1 or 2 from this one here. And we got 2 on that one. So we went from 77 to 79. You get some other things as well, which are, you know, they can be okay, but most of them are, you know, like these never sell in the market. It's mostly going to end up being for the hards and the sharps. And this saves you a tremendous amount of money, especially if you are patient, buy at the minimum prices. You know, same thing, guys. Like when I go and I buy my Witch's Earrings, for example, like this market, it's not the best. It's going down a bit, but you can see here, look at this is when they were 1.6. I want to say, I don't know how many hundreds, if not thousands of Witch's Earrings I bought at this price right here when they were at their minimum, but it was a lot. It will happen again eventually. I know that you might think not with a video like this out there, but trust me, guys, the markets are huge in this game, and the amount of people who see this video compared to the size of the markets, it's not going to be a concern. They will definitely get down to these prices again, and that's when you're going to want to stock up. And I was able to take advantage of these prices and save a tremendous amount of money. So don't buy the ones up here. What you would do is, once again, go down here to where the orders are and put in your buy orders. So like I would put in an order here to buy, just like that right there. Do that for basically all your items. A little bit of patience is key in this game. It's going to save you a tremendous amount of money in every aspect. And, you know, that's that right there. So anyway, guys, I think that's going to be about it for the video today. This was a big one. This is going to be a huge money saver for hopefully a lot of you guys. So I'm really hoping that this helps out and that you guys did indeed enjoy this video. And of course, if you guys want more videos like this in the future, definitely keep an eye out on the channel. Consider subscribing if you are new. I'm going to really be working hard on the YouTube over the coming weeks. Of course, I am streaming on Twitch basically every single day, but I am also going to focus on trying to put out as many videos to help people out, especially with a key focus on enhancing. I'm going to try to do as much of that as I can, so consider leaving a like, consider commenting. If you guys have suggestions, any of that sort of stuff, definitely make sure to do so. Don't forget to subscribe, click the bell, do all that typical YouTube stuff, and that's going to be a wrap. Thanks again, everyone. Have a great day, and until next time.